Hi, this is Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles coming at you with another tour review. This time we're taking a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Michelangelo figure. And this is from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toy line from Playmates, and this is from 1988. So the first thing we're going to do is take a closer look at the figure. Alright, so take a look at Michelangelo. So he's from Playmates Toys from 1988, and this is, from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoon. This is the toy line that went along with it. And, another iconic looking figure. Anybody that lived in their childhood during the 80s and 90s knows this toy line very well. They're molded very similarly for each of the turtles. Their bodies are very, very close, but there are subtle differences if you have them all lined up next to each other, like the way that some parts of their body are molded just barely. Their headbands are molded differently with how it's tied and where it's tied, and also like with Michelangelo, how he's got his teeth showing on this side but not on this side, and like Raphael has it, on the whole face. Donatello has a left side and a right side, and then like Raphael has like his teeth where you can actually see them right in the center as well. So they did change everything up really nicely, which I did like. Now, with the first wave of the figures, like the first ones that released on the shelves, and this is where the collectors go crazy over, is the figures actually had a soft head. And this guy is a hard-headed figure, but what that actually means is the figures actually have like a rubberized head. So here's, like I showed in the Raphael video, here's Splinter, and he's actually got a rubberized squishy head. And you can see, I can bend it. You can't do that with these other figures. They're like rock hard. But the very first ones that collectors are very sought after with collectors are those soft-headed figures, especially in the package. And then right after that, when they started producing them, in mass quantities, they switched over to the harder plastic molded heads. But pretty straight figure, so he has pretty basic articulation. So he does rotate at the head, he does rotate at the arms up and down, and his forearms make him spin. Both, for both sides. There's no waist articulation because, the turtle shell, and then his legs move. But, I mean, they're like a ball joint. You can definitely get some pretty good articulation with him. And then, for the features of this guy, out of package, he basically came with his 2 nunchucks. He came with, I don't even know what this is really called, almost like a ninja hook. All the turtles came with that. They also came with 2 stars. And then they came with a pizza slice cutter, which Raphael can actually hold in his belt, but it's basically like this. And they also came with another weapon that was basically just this part of the handle, and it had a blade attached to it that had like a big blade in the center and then 2 small nubs on each side. But through the test of time, I don't have those anymore. They definitely get lost, those smaller little toys. And then obviously he comes with this nice belt, which can be removed, but for some reason the little peg that's right where the M is, it's very difficult to get in sometimes. It's a pain in the butt, so I don't ever mess with taking the belt off anymore. And then we rotate him to the back. You can see he can actually hold his nunchuck, which is a really cool feature on this guy. I like that the turtles could do that. These belts did wear easily and would break, and it's one of the first things you see going. And same thing with these weapons. These weapons, this plastic doesn't really hold up well. So if you do a lot of playing with this or a lot of messing around, you can damage these weapons. I mean, I've seen these handles just split in half just from being in storage. But pretty straightforward. So if you want to actually have them hold the nunchucks, you can do it where you can have them hold, one pair. So I could have them hold just one like this. Or I can actually put both nunchucks in his hands and kind of do some cool poses. Not the coolest of the pose, but I mean, you could do all kinds of stuff with him. But really nice looking figure. The other thing with these figures is each turtle is actually molded in a different color green. So they're not the same. So when you look at Raphael and Donatello next to them, they all have a different hue color, which I really did enjoy. And just for size comparison and for color comparison for the turtles, here we have three of the turtles. So we have Donatello on the left, so he's that darker green. We have Michelangelo, which is a lighter, deeper green, and then Raphael, which is a really bright looking green. And then next time we have Rocksteady, just for size comparison. So you see all the turtles are definitely, you know, the same size essentially, and then Rocksteady's a little bit bigger in the toy line. So as far as size, this is what you basically got. They're very small figures too. I mean, they're only, you know, like this tall. I mean, I think like 3 3/4 inch would probably be the best guess for the turtles. But like I was saying with like the molding, you can see how Michelangelo has his bow tied, or his mask tied in the back right here, and then Raphael actually has his tied on the side right here, and then Donatello has his tied on the back as well. But there's actually, it's molded differently. So they definitely, you know, could have taken the easier route, like I said, but they decided not to, which I really did enjoy. But, you know, iconic toy line for the 1980s, you know, going into the 90s. And I mean, like I said, if you're a boy and you lived in the 80s or 90s, you probably played with Ninja Turtles at some point, or at least were exposed to them through friends or something. But, you know, a fantastic figure. Michelangelo is probably the favorite of most, you know, people because of his humor in the TV show, and, you know, a great figure. And once again, this has been Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles. Any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and I will see you guys next time.